Hey everyone, we're back with some more Dopa gameplay, this time focusing on his macro and positioning. He's going to be on his signature champion TF, but the concepts will apply to any champion, so don't worry if you don't play him. After watching this video, you should have a much better idea on how to play the mid game, especially if you're a Fed member on your team. Dopa carries this game with 0 deaths, which is extremely hard in Korean Challenger, especially against champions like Camille, Silas, Volibear, Jhin, and Thresh, which makes up the enemy composition for this one. So let's jump into the gameplay here, and catch you up on what has happened so far. Dopa has a pretty good early game, sitting at 2-0-4 at 14 minutes. The enemy bot lane and mid are pretty strong though, so the game won't be easy. The problem here is, TF can't actually pressure side lane versus the enemy team's solo laners. So Dopa's macro is going to be more as if he's a traditional mage like Syndra, Orianna, or Victor. What I mean by this is, normally TF wants to actually push the side waves all the way to the tower, which forces someone from the enemy team to come grab the wave. Then he can ult away and force a numbers up fight. But if you can't actually push the side waves, it won't be easy to catch the enemy team not grouped up, or the enemy solo laners will just take side lane towers. So let's see how he handles the situation. First, as soon as the bot lane tower falls, he's going to head down to bot and let his bot lane go mid. The enemy bot lane is going to go mid, so it's better if they match each other, and TF can match Silas bot. Now, we know we have talked before about how mages want to stay mid and wave clear, but when you do that in your own games, your bot lane just shares CS with you. Well, this is the other way you can play, so pay attention here. When Dopa goes down to bot lane, he's not fighting the Silas and is focusing on clearing the wave first. After clearing it, notice he's not walking up at all to clear the next wave. He's waiting for it to come to him near his tower. This seems small, but when I'm smurfing, I kill players on mages in side lane all the time because they walk up too far to push the wave. That's the main reason mages aren't that great in a side lane. They are easily killed by assassins or bruisers. Now, after pushing, again, he's not trying to push any further as it's too dangerous. So while he has no wave to clear and Silas is clearing the next wave, he starts rotating mid in case a fight breaks out, but both teams disengage, so he heads back to bot to collect and clear the next wave. This is basically what you're going to be doing if someone is constantly pushing like the Silas is. Clear the wave, use the small window that you have before the next wave gets here to rotate and group, but make sure not to miss waves if a fight doesn't break out. While he's clearing that wave though, his team rotates down to gank Silas, which works out well and gets Dopa a kill. This also gives him time to breathe from the constant Silas pushing. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, a sub to the channel would be incredible. Now after clearing that wave, what do you think he'll do next? Silas is dead, and the enemy Jhin and Thresh were just in mid. A lot of players would think he would either help with Dragon or try to take bot tower, but he actually resets instead. We're not sure the exact reason, but we have 2 good guesses. The first is that he didn't see the enemy jungler or top laner on the map and thought it could be too dangerous. Or, if Dopa is as insane as we think he is, it was to synchronize him coming out of base with the enemy Silas who stole TF ult earlier. So he wanted to be coming out of base at the same time as Silas in case he needed to match his ult. If he tried to take the tower or damage the tower, then reset, Silas would be out on the map and ulting in as he was recalling, or maybe even ulting onto Dopa. And he recalls with 10 seconds on Silas' death timer, and as he's coming out of base, Silas uses TF ult, and Dopa is in perfect position to counter it if Silas actually goes in. Let us know what you think in the comments. Is Dopa as 5-hit as we think he is? But after Silas goes bot, Dopa and his jungler gank him again, getting another kill. What would you do next with the Silas pick? So this is where a lot of players mess up their macro. You have to decide to either take this tower or rotate to mid. It all depends on what the situation in mid looks like. We can see here the enemy bot lane is pushing mid pretty hard, so instead of staying bot lane, he's going to rotate mid with his jungler looking to flank them. If they weren't pushing this hard and it didn't look like such a good opportunity, he would stay bot and take the tower. The enemy team respected his roam though and started backing off, so Dopa starts heading to bot lane, before he realizes the enemy team might be on Herald. His team will have to face check since they don't have vision, so he turns back around and goes with them. They find the enemy team waiting in the brush and get a pick on the Thresh. This macro concept is very important when it comes to neutral objectives like Baron, Dragon, or Herald. If your team has no vision of the neutral objective, they will have to face check, so instead of split pushing or looking to TP, sometimes it's best to just push the side wave and rotate to your team right away and face check with them in case a fight breaks out. The enemy team didn't expect Dopa to be there as well and got caught running away. Also, we know what you might be thinking, everyone says objectives over kills. When we say that, it mainly applies to how low elo players see any fight happening and go right away without farming, or after killing 3 of the enemy team, they will chase the last 2 instead of going for a tower or a neutral objective. This is completely different than what is happening here with Dopa not taking the bottom tier 1 tower. He pushed his waves down there and crashed on the tower, so now the bot wave will bounce back and push towards Dopa, so he's not missing any farm. So this gives him a chance to roam because someone from the enemy team should have to go down there and push out the waves so they don't miss 3 or 4 waves of farm. And as we can see, as Dopa is using this extra time he has to help Hecarim do Herald, Sylas shows bot lane as expected to push out the waves. And as soon as they finish the Herald, Dopa has to recall and be back in bot lane to catch the waves, which is what you should be doing as well. He clears the one wave just like before and starts rotating mid in case a fight breaks out. The enemy team is chasing his team in the jungle though. Now the concept we're about to go over is extremely important in any elo on any champion. Dopa is 3-0-5 right now and is worth 600 gold if someone kills him. When you are fed, it's very important not to die and play fights cautiously. If you see your teammates in a bad situation like this and you try to save them and die, you can throw the game. If you die, not only do they get your shutdown, but that's time you lose that you could be farming or pushing waves for tempo or pressure. So let's see what happens here. The enemy team is chasing Dopa's team and Hecarim is in base. Dopa immediately knows that this isn't a fight they want to be taking right now, so he's going to hold this gold card and throw Q, but notice he's not actually walking up to throw it. If he walks up too close, he could be in danger of dying, so he's waiting for a safe chance to throw it after they use some cooldowns, and make sure to throw the gold at max range and immediately turn around and run away. Now that his W is down, he's staying pretty far away, waiting for it to come back up, and he's just throwing Q. He pulls the gold again and is holding it in case they go for Braum, but Sylas flashes and gets the kill. Dopa stuns him and gets him pretty low, but he's out of damage now and doesn't keep chasing. He's playing around his cooldowns and makes sure not to die. His Akali starts TPing in now though, so he turns on his ult and ults here. By ulting here, he's close to his tower and is safe, while also being able to help his Akali with cleaning up the fight. Sadly, the enemy Thresh flayed Akali out of her second ult, which turns this around. If he didn't flay perfectly, Dopa and Akali could have killed them all. Dopa's team may have died, but since he lived, he can push some waves, getting himself some farm and lane pressure. He pushes the 2 waves in mid cautiously, and this is a bigger deal than you would think it is. Because he pushed those 2 waves, now the enemy team has to catch it on their tower. If the enemy team aced them, they could take mid tower, then get deep vision before recalling, or take Dopa's team's jungle camps. This can lead to picks from people face checking, or just lost gold from camps. Pushing waves is a big part of the game. Now after that, we have another big macro concept here. Dopa sees a big wave top lane pushing in, but he's going to reset first before getting it. Do you know why? Well, he hasn't recalled and spent his gold in a while, so if he went up there now and cleared the waves, he would recall while his team is out on the map. You want to be out on the map at the same time as your team for obvious reasons. If something breaks out, you can be there. So by recalling first, he's coming out of base with his jungler and Akali. When he gets to the top lane, he clears the cannon wave and then backs off. This is suboptimal because he's going to lose the next wave showing up. But this is what I'm talking about, where he can't play this how TF normally wants to. It's too dangerous to keep pushing, he doesn't have ult, so he's going to drop that wave and run straight to mid as Dragon is coming up. And as he's doing that, the enemy Sylas shows up top lane to grab the wave. So he's still got pressure in top, he just lost a wave, which is why it's suboptimal. When he gets to mid, the enemy team is trying to get vision of Dragon, and Dopa is here to catch them with his team and get a triple kill before the enemy Sylas could affect the team fight, even with him TPing in. Dopa was here at the start, and it goes back to the concept we talked about earlier, where TPing sometimes isn't the play and it's better to actually be with your team. Alright guys, we're going to close out the video here as we covered a lot of macro concepts. If we try to teach more, it would be pretty hard to retain all this information. But you can see how all these small things Dopa does are so important and change the game even in these hectic Korean Challenger games of non-stop fighting. If you want to truly take your lane phase to the next level and learn how to convert leads into easy wins, then you need to check out our site skillcap.com. We have by far the largest catalog of guides on the internet. We've curated them into over 100 epic courses, and we release more than 10 new guides every week. We're so confident you'll improve, you can input your rank before signing up to see where we think you'll climb. If you don't hit that rank while actively using our service, you can claim a refund, so there's no risk. Sign up today to finally get the rank you've always wanted. That's going to bring us to the end of this one. We hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching.